Yeah, in the first 2 minutes, just hold on to those thoughts and bring them back up in your closing remarks. Again, I appreciate everybody coming over here this evening. Let's get started. So at this time, have Chuck give our prayer and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if I can have everybody stand and remove your hats.
First of all, my role here is I'm the head precinct judge for Precinct 5, Palo, Pinto County, State of Texas, United States of America. And that's something at the end of the day, all the votes I sign off with my personal name. And so I take this very seriously. Thank y'all all for attending. In the name of Jesus Christ, spoken from our heart through the Holy Spirit, to your ear, Father, and according to your will, we ask these simple things. First of all, we ask for excellence from the candidates. They're here, they're putting themselves out personally. We ask for their excellence. We also ask for their truthfulness. Us listeners, we ask for discernment. And finally, we ask for our health, good health, and safe travels to our final destination tonight. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll begin with the Palo Pinto County District Clerk's position. If Teresa, Nathan, and Haley can please come forward, and we'll have you draw your numbers, and Tina will give the bios and introductions.
Somebody didn't think I needed a microphone, so if y'all can't hear me in the back, please let me know. I'm going to try and speak as loud as possible. I guess that's why they thought I didn't need a microphone. District Clerk serves as clerk and custodian of all records for the district courts, indexes and secures all court records, collects filing fees, and handles funds held in litigation and money awarded to minors, coordinates the jury panel selection process, manages court registry funds, may process passport applications. In Texas, counties with a population of fewer than 8,000, unless there's been a special election, the county clerk also serves as a district clerk and assumes all constitutional and statutory duties of both positions. Salary of district clerk posted is $77,205. The budget approved for the fiscal year of 24 is $292,951. And staff is scheduled 3 deputized employees. We've got 3 district clerk candidates. You'll have to forgive me. Is it Teresa? Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure I was pronouncing that correctly. Yes. Teresa's the current Palo Pinto County district clerk. She's been married to her husband David for 18 years. They've got 6 children, numerous grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. Teresa's worked in the legal profession for over 40 years and has been with the Palo Pinto County for 17 years as a deputy clerk and a court coordinator for Judge Ray and Judge Michael Moore. She was appointed by Judge Michael Moore as the district clerk in March of 23. We also have Nathan Choate. Nathan's a lifelong Texas resident and grew up in Mineral Wells, Texas. Nathan was a distinguished graduate of the Mineral Wells High School in 2009. He holds a Bachelor of Science in General Psychology and a minor in Criminal Justice and has more than a decade of experience in the legal field, including a year of service as Deputy District Clerk for Palo Pinto County. Nathan is married to Kayla and they have 1 son and a daughter. Haley Storms was born and raised in Palo Pinto County and graduated from Gordon ISD in 2014. She has received her associate's degree in science and is scheduled to get her bachelor's degree in legal studies this summer. She's worked in an office setting for over 7 years with local government for over 4. Haley worked in the Palo Pinto County District Clerk's office from 2019 to 2021 and has worked in the tax office since 2022.
All right. As you come up on stage this evening, please be careful to bigger step than we realized, and there are no steps. So we have a couple of chairs for you to sit down up here. Just please be careful as you're stepping up onto the stage. So the order of questions is going to be Teresa, Nathan, and Haley. The first question, what are your qualifications for district clerk? We'll go in reverse order from that, just the last one. Right, what are your qualifications for district clerk?
My qualifications for district clerk is that I have over 40 years experience in the legal profession. I have served at, worked for many attorneys during my 40 years, and then I've worked as a deputy clerk and the court coordinator for 13 years, and now as the district clerk. Judge Moore appointed me with based on my knowledge and my experience, and he felt like I was the best candidate out of all the applicants. And I've been to training for the clerk's office, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. All right, Nathan.
So, on the questions, is this introduction, you want to make sure introductions or questions? You have questions?
Yeah, what are the questions?
Okay, so you have 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, and stop. So you have more time. You have more time.
You want to say anything? Okay, all right. Okay, so Nathan, you're number 2. What are your qualifications for district clerk?
Thank you. And thank you all for being here this evening. My qualifications to serve as your next Palo Pinto district clerk are that I have more than a decade of experience in the legal field, including, as was mentioned, serving for a year as your deputy district clerk. I also hold a degree with a minor in criminal justice. And during my time working in the legal field during the private sector, I have worked in all types of law for many different types of attorneys. I have spent a lot of time coordinating with different courts and judges, mediators, things of that nature. I also have learned that the most effective skill that we can have in this field is to be able to adapt and change and overcome as the law does, which is about every 2 years or so. I also hold a lot of experience dealing with digital media. I have worked with computers since I was a very small child, and I have yet to come across a technological issue that I could not resolve myself. Thank you all for being here and for taking part and interest in our activities. Thank you for coming.
All right, Haley, same question for you. What are your qualifications for district clerk?
Hi y'all, my name is Haley Storms. Thank you for coming out today. My qualifications for district clerk is that I come from a long line of civil servants. I have many family members that are firefighters, EMS, paramedics, nurses, and this is how I have chosen to serve my community, is by working in local government. I am about to finish my bachelor's degree in legal studies. I have previously worked in the district clerk's office. I worked as a family clerk, as a civil clerk, partly as a criminal clerk. This is my passion and this is my career field. If you elect me as your next district clerk, I promise to serve with integrity, honor, and hard work.
Okay, so rookie mistake here. I did not allow them to do an introduction. So each of you are going to have a chance to come up here and give a 2-minute introduction for yourself. I apologize. So we'll go in the same order. Teresa, you're number 1, Nathan number 2, and Haley will be number 3, and then we'll go to question number 2 after that.
Hello, I'm Teresa Greenhall. I'm married to David McDonald for 18 years, and we have 6 children between us, numerous grandchildren, and 2 great. I started in the district clerk's office in 2007 as a deputy clerk, and in 2011, Judge Ray appointed me, hired me as his court coordinator, and then he retired. In 2013, Judge Moore kept me as his as his coordinator until March of 23 when he appointed me as the district clerk. I've had a world of hands-on experience with wisdom that comes from the positions I've had the privilege and opportunity to hold from working in the law office. to working as a deputy clerk, to working as a court coordinator, and as now the district clerk. I enjoy the legal field. It's all I've done my whole life since I began working, and I was fortunate enough to start law almost as soon as I got out of high school for a retired colonel, and he taught me a lot in the law field. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for coming to join us tonight. My name is Nathan Choate, and I am currently running to be your next Palo Pinto District Clerk. I would like to take a moment to thank the Strawn Chamber, as well as Mr. Allison and everyone else who conspired to get us all together here this evening. I'd like to thank my family and friends, as well as my beautiful wife, Kayla, for coming out and showing support. And I would like to thank all of you for turning out and being a part of these proceedings. I am running to be your next district clerk because I believe that the position is one that should serve the community as well as the judiciary. It is not necessarily something that I had purposed in my heart to do originally, but the Lord has put it on my heart to do, and I am doing my very best to be a willing participant. I am asking for your support by way of a vote. If you would please turn out on election day, tell your friends, tell your family that they need to do their part as well. And I'm asking for you to vote me to be your next district clerk of Palo Pinto County. Thank you.
Hi, y'all. My name is Haley Storms, previously Haley Rouse. I was born in Palo Pinto County at PPGH. I went to Gordon ISD. I graduated from there. I have volunteered in the community for many years. My family has deep roots in this community. If you know any Rouses or Scribners, that's my family. I went to college at Ranger College. I put myself through school. I've worked full-time since the moment I graduated high school. I've worked hard for everything that I own. I got my associate's degree in science. My husband and I moved to West Texas. We made some quick cash and then moved back home. I started my passion in the legal field whenever I started at the district clerk's office. I chose to finish my bachelor's degree in legal studies because of that job. And then I continued to work in a law office after that. And then I went to work for the tax assessor collector in her motor vehicle department. I've had the opportunity to work in several different areas of law, and I've just fallen more and more in love with the field through each different occupation. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I apologize for getting us out of order there. We will, for the candidates from this point forward, they'll give their introduction before we start questions. So it's what happens when you miss a chamber meeting. You get volunteered to do things like this. And then you get the mistakes that come along with it. So we have one more question for these candidates. Or actually, two more questions, excuse me. What are your qualifications for district, how do you lead a small team office and improve organizational efficiencies? And this question will go to Nathan Choate first, and then Teresa, and then Haley. How do you lead a small team and improve organizational efficiencies within the office?
Thank you. The most effective form of leadership is that through example. An effective leader is someone who paves the way by showing how something can be done, how it should be done, and then providing all of the necessary resources for their staff to be able to do it in that exact same way. In fact, I believe that any deputy acting on your behalf should be able to assist any customer with any issue in the exact same way as if the district clerk were handling it themselves. I believe that efficiency is something that comes from treating your staff correctly and making sure that they have all of the resources and support that they need. Team members typically do their best work when they feel respected, appreciated, and valued. And that is something that I will strive for each and every day if you elect me to be your next district clerk. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. All right, Teresa, you'll be next. How do you lead a small team office and improve organizational efficiencies within that office?
Well, I've had the opportunity to do that. I train my clerks according to how I've learned it. It's always worked, and the district judge has said that this office is running as smooth as he's seen it run in a long time. And I check their work daily just to make sure that everything has been entered correctly and that all the documents are in the proper place. Indexing for the clerk's office is very important, so we are going online. You can now search cases online through TexasOnlineRecords.com, and the clerks, they get the training. I have the district clerk manual, we call it the Bible. They're free to look at that. I can answer just about any question they've asked me, and if I can't, I just call another district clerk for the answer. And right now our e-filing, we do e-filing, it's all up to date, and we're organized. I feel like we're organized, and everything that we do is makes the court system run smooth, and that's why I've trained them to do the job the way I know it needs to be done to make the court run smooth. After being in the judge's office, I know what he expects, and that's how I've trained them to do that. And right now we're very efficient. Thank you.
Haley, how do you lead a small team office and improve organizational efficiencies within that office?
I believe that strong leadership is a necessity of any elected official. I think that you can lead a small team by building a strong staff. Whenever you communicate with your staff and you create a family instead of a team, instead of a staff, they are able to work together and create almost an assembly line. Whenever you can pass the different tasks to different clerks and everyone is cross-trained, it helps the office move in a more efficient manner.
Thank you, Haley. All right, at this point, we'll give all the candidates their closing remarks for 1 minute. Let Haley go first and be followed by Teresa and then Nathan.
I want to thank y'all for coming out today and showing support for your local candidates. I just wanted to take this moment to tell y'all that this is my passion. I promise to work so hard for Palo County, no matter what position I'm in. I'm currently in your tax assessor's office as a motor vehicle clerk. If I stay there, I will continue to work my tail off for the citizens of Palo County. But if you give me the opportunity to show you what I can do in the district clerk's office, I promise not to let you down. I have shown my hard work, I have shown my ethics, and I truly love this county, and I just want to serve my community to the best of my abilities.
I'd like to thank you for coming out, and okay, well, thank you for coming out, and I want to continue serving as your district clerk. It's been a privilege to be appointed to that position. I love it. I love the judicial system, and I love the way it works. And I'm asking for you to vote for me as your district clerk so that I can continue that opportunity. And thank you for your time. Thank you.
I just want to thank you all again for coming out tonight. It was kind of a drive over here, but it was a beautiful one, and I'm really appreciative to each and every one of you for taking the time to invest in local politics and to become familiar with the candidates so that you can make the most informed decision possible. I am asking you guys to select me by way of your vote at the polls to be your next district clerk. It would be an honor and a privilege, and I can promise you that I would never work harder for anything in my entire life. It would be a privilege to serve you each and every day, and I look forward to the opportunity. Thank you again for coming out, and God bless.
All right, appreciate you guys coming up here. Somebody had to go first and be my guinea pig, so be very careful getting down off the stage here. Okay, next will be our county commissioners for Precinct 3 candidates. We have Brent Fuller and Jim Pollock. If you guys will come forward and draw your numbers, and we'll have Tina give your introductions.
County Commissioner, Precinct 3, salary, $75,541. Budget, the approved budget for the fiscal year of 2024 is $986,000. Staff is 4 employees. Boundaries for Precinct 3, west side of PK Lake, west of Highway 16, down south to the county line, south of 180, over a Highway 4, covering approximately 111 miles of roads, and again, 4 employees. Precinct 3 is the second largest of the 4 precincts in Palo County. Your 2 candidates, Brent Fuller, Jim Pollock. Brent Fuller is 55 years old and has lived in Palo County for 44 years. Brent graduated from Interwells High School in 1986. He's been married to his wife, Nikki, for 28 years. They have 4 children and 3 grandchildren. Brent has owned and operated his own business in the oil and gas industry for the last 15 years and has lived in Lone Camp for the last 20 years. Jim Pollock was raised in Santo, Texas. Jim graduated from Santo ISD and went to work in construction. He then went on to work for TxDOT and worked for them for 31 years as an equipment operator, contract manager, an inspector, crew chief, and assistant supervisor for Palo County, managing as many as 20 employees. Jim retired from TxDOT in April of 2023, was appointed commissioner for Precinct 3 on May the 1st. Jim and his wife Carol have been married for 32 years and have 3 daughters and 4 grandchildren. Jim has a side business, JP's Construction, and has built many different kinds of structures. Jim also served on the Strong ISD School Board for 8 years. Jim and you each have 5 questions.
You guys will come up and have to take a seat. Brent, you will go first with a 2-minute introduction, and you're followed by Jim.
Good evening. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. I know you've had other things to do, and I really appreciate your time. It means a lot to me. My name is Brent Fuller. Like I said, I've been in Palo County for 44 years. Been in Lone Camp for 20 years. Wife, Nikki, and kids. But I've been a businessman for 15 years. I own my own business, and if you've been a businessman and own your own business, we think different. We take the pressure home at night, 24/7. And I think I have what it takes to be a commissioner. I think I can take the pressure. I'm a hard worker, and if given the chance, I won't let you down. Appreciate it.
Good evening, my name is Jim Pollock. Well, I am the current commissioner of Precinct 3. I was nominated 10 months ago. I went through an interview. I wasn't planning on being a commissioner. I got a phone call one day from the judge. Says, "Hey, got it open. Interested?" I said, "Well, not really. I'm still working. I ain't ready to retire." Well, he said, "Well, just think about it." So I did. I went through the interview process, and he selected me. And I was like, hey, hold on. He wanted me to start the next day. I said, "No, sir." I said, "Let me check with my HR. I don't want to get fired before I retire." So anyway, I retired April 27th from TxDOT and began county commissioner on May 1st. I had a whopping 3 days retirement. But I've kind of followed him up. Well, all right, I'm done. Thank you.
You can bring those back up in their closing remarks. Jim, if you'll stay up here, you're going to take the first question to begin with. What qualifies you for the position of county commissioner?
Well, like I said, I'm retired from TxDOT 31 years. I've had employed as many as 20 guys at one time, assistant supervisor. I've had went through wrote up no telling how many budgets over $1 million. I've had multi-million-dollar budgets and contracts at one time in 1 year. I know the business side part of it. I know the budget side part of it. And I very well know the roadway part of it. There's nothing I've never done. If I haven't, I will learn how to do it, and I'll do it right, one way or another. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Brent, what qualifies you for the position of County Commissioner?
Like I say, I'm a businessman, had my own business for 15 years. I had supply stores in Weatherford, Texas, and Jacksboro, Texas, and in Jal, Mexico. 24/7 in the oil field. I think a commissioner or anybody, any elected official, they need to be a strong leader. They need to have a backbone, and they won't crack under pressure. I believe you need to be very personable, and I believe you need to be a good speaker. I believe you need to have a business mind, and I believe you need to have common sense. And if elected commissioner, I will bring those traits to the office. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brent. With those qualifications, what's going to make you an effective leader in this role?
Any effective leader, CEO or a good CEO, they want better people working under them than they are. They want somebody smarter at their jobs than they are. And I'll be the first to tell you, I'm not a road man. You know, I'll fix my driveway, but I'm not a road man. But the crew I'm going to inherit if I get the job, there's two guys been there for 26 years. The foreman's been there for 13 years. They were our previous, well, not Jim, but they were Mike's crew. I think they were a dang good crew, and if I get that job, I'm not going to change that. My job is to give them everything they need to be successful. I'll overlook the roads, but they will do the maintenance on the roads. If the county is paying me $77,000 a year to set and watch a road crew, to me that's misappropriation of funds. I don't need to be doing that. I need to be where I can solve problems and save the county money, not cost the county money. Thank you.
Thank you, Brent. Jim, how will these qualifications make you an effective leader in this role?
Like I said, I've led many crews through snow and ice, whatnot, any kind of emergency situations. I know how to take care of when I'm solving a problem solver. That's times. I lead by example. He said, I came to the county with these 5 guys, and they looked at me, and that's like, man, here comes another politician type guy. He said, I'm not a politician. They was in mud and dirt one day, and I jumped down there with them. They was like surprised. And I said, hey, I ain't afraid to get dirty just like you. But I'm good at leading people, and I'm good at doing money. I have a budget that's like past budget. I did not spend all the county's budget. I turned it back in with a good profit still in there. So I'm not out to spend money. I'm going to do what's right, and I'm going to make it right. Thank you.
All right, our third question, what do you think are the top challenges facing Palo Pinto County, and how will you address these challenges?
Well, the top 2 is water and population. I've been to a whole bunch of different meetings on water. County is aware of that. It's not a whole lot I can say, but pray to God and let's hope it rains. That's the best solution right now. As far as growth, it's coming. Whether we're ready for it or not, I don't think we are. Ain't nobody ready for it. But it's, in my judgment, to keep good communication with the cities, small communities, and we'll work through it one way or another and do the best we can as far as the county will let us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Brent, what do you think the top challenges facing Palo Pinto County are, and how will you address these challenges?
There's no doubt the number one problem is water. And it's not a quick fix, folks. I mean, we can get on our knees, we can pray to God every day, and then eventually we're going to get water. And I don't know if Turkey Peak Reservoir's the answer. You can dig 50 lakes behind the damn Palo Pinto Lake, and Palo Pinto Lake does not fill up. They're not going to fill up. I think the quick fix and most economical is probably get water from Possum They'll reverse osmosis. It's already coming down the river. We just got to get permits from the TEQC, and we can do that. But the growth's not coming if we don't have water. As I stated the other night, there's 200. So there's a subdivision by my house on New Hill Cemetery. There's 200 houses over there, or 200 lots that were sold. And these people bought these 5-acre lots, and there's no water. It's costing Palo Pinto County millions of dollars a year in property taxes because we can't get houses built because of no water. Secondly, and the pet peeve with me and probably y'all too, is property tax. And I will never, and I said it the other night, I will never ever vote for a property tax increase. We are taxed out the ears as a society in the United States. And as your commissioner, I will never vote for a property tax increase. Thank you.
Thank you. Brent, we'll just go ahead and stay up here. Sorry. Where do you see the county 5 to 10 years from now? What plans do you have and want to implement to meet our future needs?
If we get water in place, we get the right structures, the right infrastructure, people are coming. Palo Pinto County is a beautiful place to live. It's a beautiful place to raise a family. We all chose it. I mean, that's why we're here. It's a beautiful place. If we can get water in place and we can get these subdivisions built, there's going to be millions of excess dollars in property taxes, and we can have better schools. We can have more law enforcement on the streets. We can have better streets. But the key is the water. We've got to get the infrastructure to get the people here. That's the key. Thank you.
Jim, where do you see the county 5 to 10 years from now? What plans do you have to implement those for our future needs?
Well, the growth is coming. It's coming this way. It's pretty much going to come down the interstate, right down towards. We just need to, like I said earlier, keep good communication with the cities and their residents. Listen to the people of Palo Pinto County, and we'll try to resolve these issues. We'll just take them one day at a time to be able to deal with the growth and to deal with what's coming at us. I can't tell you what we're going to do because it ain't here yet. So when it does, then we'll take action and go with it. Thank you.
Okay, something that we're very excited about here in Strawn is the Palo Pinto Mountain State Park and its opening. How can and will you directly assist projects impacting Palo Pinto Mountain State Park and the Strawn, Mingus, and Gordon area?
Well, I'm happy to help out Strong, Gordon, Mingus, and the state park. This past week, I had a lady school bus driver, Santo ISD. She was like, "Hey, I'm trying to turn my bus around there at Lake Palo Pinto, and I can't turn around good. Can you do something about it?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. What do you need?" She said, "Push some brush, put some gravel down." Well, 2 days later, went up there and we did it. We hauled material for both Strong, Mingus, and Gordon. We'll help out the cities any way we can, and we'll do the same thing for State Park here in Strong. Anything we can help with, we'll do. County has don't have much problem saying no to the people of Palo County. We do our best to serve you, and we'll do it as best we can. Thank you.
Thank you. Brent, how can and will you directly assist projects impacting Palo Pinto Mountain State Park and the Strawn, Mingus, and Gordon area?
First of all, I need to get into office to look into what I can do to impact the Palo Pinto State Park. I mean, it's a lovely park. It's a lovely place. But as a county commissioner, you can only do so much, and I'm not sure that the county is going to give me budget money to go to the state park. I don't think they will. But as Jim said, keep the roads safe. Work with the citizens of Palo Pinto County. Work with the citizens of Strong, Mingus, and Gordon. I mean, this southern part of Palo Pinto County is don't tell me all those people. This is kind of my heart down here. It's where I'm from, it's where I'm raised. My kids go to school at Gordon, but we will bend over backwards to help people of Palo Pinto County, especially southern Palo Pinto County. The rural folks, that's what I am, and I know what it takes to help people out, and that's what I'll do. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our questions for the county commissioners for precinct 3. At this time, we'll give each candidate a minute for their closing remarks.
I'm asking for your vote. I think it's important that everybody gets out and votes. Like I say, I'm a businessman. I think businessmen have different views than an ordinary, everyday working person because the buck stops with them. And I think we need a businessman in Commissioner's Court. It would be an honor to serve Precinct 3 in Palo Pinto County, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. Thank you, and God bless.
I've been raised in Palo Pinto County all my life. Left for a little bit, I was back here. Can't stay away. It's been a privilege the last 10 months being a county commissioner for Palo Pinto County. I've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot more. The longer you're in office doing that job, the more you're going to be better at it. Hey, I'm not a public speaker. I'm a country boy. I apologize. I ain't good at speaking in front of people. But you catch me one-on-one, I'll talk to you all day. Just call me up. If you got a question, concern, whatnot, look in the county directory. My number's right there. Give me a call. Text me. I don't care. I will let you get in contact with you and hear your voice. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Watch your step getting down off the stage here. All right, next on the docket is Palo Pinto County Sheriff. So candidates Doug Hart and J.R. Patterson come up and draw your numbers, and Tina will read your bios.
Palo Pinto County Sheriff serves as a licensed peace officer and is responsible for enforcing the criminal laws of the state, manages and operates the county jail, provides security for the courts, serves warrants and civil papers, regulates bail bondsmen in county with no bail bond board. Interesting Texas trivia, while not in Palo Pinto County, the sheriff may serve as the tax assessor collector in counties with fewer than 8,000 residents. Salary. Sheriff has a posted salary of $83,368. The budget for the fiscal year of 2024 is $3,135,457. The narcotics budget, $194,582, along with the jail budget of $2,891,500. The Sheriff's Department has a scheduled number of employees of around 30, plus another 30 to 35 as detention officers and support staff. Sheriff is the overseer of the largest number of county employees. We have Doug Hart. Doug was raised in Palo Pinto County and is a proud graduate of Mineral Wells High School. After graduation, Doug enlisted in the U.S. Navy. After completing his time of service, he attended Weatherford College before beginning a career in law enforcement. For the past 22 years, he's held various positions protecting our communities. For 14 of those years, Doug led a team as a highway patrol sergeant. Additionally, he spent 6 years as a field force operations instructor where he trained over 1,000 law enforcement professionals. Doug and his wife, Christy, live in Palo County. J.R. Patterson and his wife, Sherry, have been married for 41 years. They have 3 children and 8 grandchildren. J.R. has experience as a general contractor owning his own business that constructed metal buildings and custom homes. For 20 years, he helped produce natural gas handling equipment as well as provided pipeline repair and maintenance services. J.R. managed as many as 30 employees at one time. He also spent 18 years as a Mineral Wells volunteer firefighter / rescue squad EMT, and many years working with risk youth at the county, and for 9 years as court-appointed special advocate for neglected and abused children. J.R. helped with founding of the Palo Pinto County Children's Alliance Center, which provides Palo Pinto County law enforcement agencies with the resources they need in the prosecution of crimes against children.
Okay, at this time, you'll each have 1 minute for your introduction. With the draw, JR, you'll go first, and Doug will go second.
And gentlemen, you'll have 4 questions each time.
J.R. Patterson, 61 years of age, born in an active hospital in Mineral Wells, Texas. Lived there in Palo Pinto County, Mineral Wells area, all my life. Sheree and I have been together for 41 years. Like I said, 3 unbelievable children, two boys, and our daughter Lexi. The boys are with me tonight, and my daughter-in-law, Jessica, are here with us, and I'm glad they're here to support. Sheree and I poured into Palo Pinto County our entire married life. Having lived there in the city, we not only maintained the businesses that you just heard about for 10 years, but we ended up into the fab shop where we handle all types of, from the fabrication, purchasing, managing of employees, all the taxes, the umbrellas, the general liabilities, everything that goes into a business. Daily we were making do and die decisions that kept that business alive, and for the employees that operate on behalf of us.
All right, Doug, you have a 1 minute introduction.
I've been battling a cough for 2 weeks, so I apologize for that. But my resume is, that was pretty much it. I was a state trooper for 22 years. For 14 of those years, I was a highway patrol sergeant in Weatherford. Weatherford was a very busy area. I lived in Mineral Wells during that time. I had extensive experience in leading troopers at the Rio Grande Valley, leading troopers in high crimes task forces with Fort Worth PD, Dallas PD, a lot of leadership experience in that 14 years that I spent in Weatherford, and I look forward to the opportunity of bringing that leadership experience to the people of Palo Pinto County to help make this county as safe as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. So you'll go first with this first question. What has been your greatest professional accomplishment that is relevant to the position of Palo Pinto County Sheriff?
Something I'm very proud of is, as a highway patrol sergeant in Weatherford, I had numerous phone calls from troopers asking me, Sarge, when are you going to have a vacancy? I want to come and work in Weatherford North. My office always stayed full. Troopers wanted to be a part of my team. I had great people working with me, always led by example. I never asked my troopers to do something I wasn't willing to do, and that's one of the reasons my office stayed full. I treated everybody with respect. If they needed to be reprimanded, it was done in private, but I praised them in public. And it is a tremendous compliment when other police officers come to you and say they want to be a part of your team and work for you.
Thank you. JR, what has been your greatest professional accomplishment that is relevant to the position of Palo Pinto County Sheriff?
Having been blessed with a business that paid the bills, our time volunteering and giving back to the community, putting back into the folks that we live with, it's about people. It's about us. That's why we're here tonight. as a unified people, we're trying to figure out what's the best way for us to move forward. And Sheree and I have been able to do things from the Children's Alliance Center, getting it founded in Mineral Wells and set up with some other couples. The time that as an advocate for the CASA court reporting special advocate for the district court, Judge Ray, Judge Moore, those helping out those children that are hung up in the Child Protective Service system. We just, everything that we've done after hours, after the job was done during the day, is, I feel like, my biggest accomplishment, because it was pouring into those kids that are coming behind us, growing the next generation of talented people, and just being able to put back into people. Again, that's our slogan is, we is greater than me, and I think that pretty much says it all when it comes to the fact my accomplishments lie in people and the next generation.
Thank you. JR, if elected sheriff, what would be your top priorities specifically for the Strawn, Mingus, and Gordon area of Palo County?
I think it's important to realize each group, whether it be the sheriff's department, whether it be the commissioners, whether it be the local church, whoever's leading that organization, that group of people under his command tend to follow his personality eventually. And so it's going to be different when I'm elected sheriff, if you will give me your vote. It's going to be different here in the southern end of the county. I can see where this has kind of been a void. We've been taking care of the population back towards Mineral Wells. We've recently had to take the lake with BRA, making some changes. It doesn't have to do that, but we're getting more deputies. We're getting more equipment and assets, and I just really believe we're going to be able to put more attention down here towards Gordon, Strawn, and Mingus, and we're going to be able to have better coverage down here. Now, am I promising you something? No, I don't know. We've got a lot of things to work out, but I see a bright future, and I see a lot better days coming for the people of this area.
Thank you. Doug, if elected sheriff, what would be your top priorities specifically for the Strawn, Mingus, and Gordon area of our county?
I think this area is like a lot of Palo County, and it's like a lot of small towns in Texas. We have a illegal drug use problem, and what I'd like to do is work with our partners at Mineral Wells PD, Texas DPS, our federal agencies like the DEA that have unlimited resources. Let's tap into those federal funds, get a task force going, especially targeting this area. I know I've said it before, if I was a criminal, I would hit the small town areas, because unfortunately in a lot of the small town areas, the mentality is, hey, this is Strong, this is Gordon, nothing really happens, it's a sleepy town. Well, there's crime that happens everywhere, and if we can get some of the state resources and federal resources together, it takes a tremendous amount of manpower, and it takes money to come together and have a joint task force. And it's going to take time, but also something I like to see happen. And I'm not implying anybody's not doing a good job, but traffic stops. You can make a lot of good criminal arrests when you make a traffic stop. Do some criminal interdiction. You can find people with warrants, and you can find people that have illegal drugs. And just a few traffic stops here and there would make a tremendous difference right off the bat.
Appreciate it. Doug, how will you attract and retrain qualified deputies?
No matter what job you do, but especially law enforcement, you want to feel appreciated and respected. My 14 years as a highway patrol sergeant, I feel we're very successful because troopers wanted to be a part of my team and part of what we were doing in Weatherford. And Palo County it's a great place to be. I think we can attract very high qualified people to come to work for the sheriff's office. Historically, people will leave a law enforcement agency for two reasons: low pay and a poor chain of command. Well, the pay is pretty good on average, and I promise no one will leave the sheriff's office if I'm elected because of a poor chain of command. I will take the time to visit with each person that works there and find out what their law enforcement goals are. I've worked for a chain of command, unfortunately, that they were not for their people first. They were for themselves, and understand what it's like to go to work and feel like you're totally unappreciated. Again, I love my time at DPS, but having that experience to draw back on, I know what it's like to go to work and not be happy, and I promise if you elect me, that won't happen at the sheriff's office.
JR, how will you attract and retrain qualified deputies to our county?
Some of you have already heard me mention it. Sheriff McGuire had started a program where he took candidates, qualified them, made cadets out of them, sent them to the Weatherford College Law Enforcement Academy. I think it's a great move. I've watched as they put out for applications and they've interviewed people, but sending these cadets to the Weatherford College and growing our own deputies seems to be a pretty good route. It's the route that a lot of the other agencies around the counties are doing. I applaud him for that. The commissioners went along with it, and I think it's just a good situation. The other side of that would be, once I'm in place, again, you're going to hear me say people a lot. It's about the people. You create a team, and that team emits a passion for the job. And as that passion is emitted from them, people want to be part of it. The community wants to be part of it. And so when you put that teamwork together and you get everybody equally yoked, pulling in the same direction with a common cause, things happen, and it creates an atmosphere that people want to be part of. And that's exactly what I'm doing. That's where my success has been, and that's what I intend to do on behalf of the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you, JR. The reality is you have a limited manpower in a county with a large amount of land to cover. How will you effectively allocate resources to ensure the safety of the whole county, specifically our corner of it?
So the commissioners have been very gracious. They're adding to the numbers of deputies to be able to put on patrol. We've added to criminal investigations unit. There's talk of adding more. We've had to take on the Brazos River Authority job up at the lake. It's spreading us thin. But again, we're adding deputies, we're adding positions, we're spreading the knowledge that we have in-house, and we're adding 3 young deputies to them so that they can be mentored into the position. As far as taking on the growth and I'm sorry. I need a second.
Okay. How will you effectively allocate resources to ensure the safety of the whole county, specifically our corner of it?
Allocating the resource, I said the other night, I'm a big boy. I know when to ask for help when I'm overwhelmed, and I will go outside the county. I'll go to neighboring agencies. I've already established a relationship with mental health that has been weak in the past. Already have a great relationship with DPS and the Texas Rangers, the State Park Police, all of it. There's a huge team that operates independently in individual groups that when called together, if we train together, work together, talk together, communicate, that can all work to benefit any corner of the county when a time of need comes into place.
All right, at this time, that concludes our questions for you gentlemen. You'll each have 1 minute for closing remarks. Doug, you'll go first.
I know we have some veterans and retired police officers in here, so thank you for your service. As I have gone through this campaign process, it's made me a better person. I've always tried to be positive and not say negative things. And, you know, my mom is an example of, I've never heard her say anything negative about anybody. So this process has helped me become a better person. And I continue to focus on the positive, and I believe that I am the best candidate for this job. I've got 14 years of a lot of law enforcement leadership experience, and if elected, I can bring this experience to Palo County and hit the ground running. There will be a small learning curve, but for the most part, I have the experience. I believe you are looking for a leader.
I stand before you asking you to vote for me. Because I don't just believe, I know that I have been brought to this place. I've been called to this time and this season in my life to operate on behalf of you, the people, as your next sheriff. Do not grow weary in doing what's good and right, for in due season you shall reap what you sowed, if you do not give up. I've raised my family, I've run my businesses, I've done everything in my life focused on that one scripture. This run for sheriff is just another level of doing good. I, with my heart, soul, strength, and mind, know that the Lord himself will equip me and give me the things I need to serve you, his people, and do it in an efficient and perfect way. I just ask that you give me the opportunity to do so with your vote. Thank you.
As you say, gentlemen, please be careful as you disembark the stage here. Everybody doing all right? Everybody hanging in there? Everybody had a late last night watching the Super Bowl and watching the Chiefs with another victory. At this point, we'll have the Palo Pinto County District Attorneys. If we have Christy and Jet come forward and draw your numbers, Tina will read your introductions and bios.
District Attorney represents the state in prosecuting felony criminal cases, works with law enforcement officers in the investigation of criminal cases, presents cases to the grand jury, represents victims of violence and protective orders, and represents the state removing children from abusive households. Some counties just have either a criminal district attorney or a combination of county and district attorney. In these counties, one office performs the functions of both the county attorney and the district attorney. Comptroller's Judiciary Section coordinates the payment of salaries and expenses for all state district judges, district attorneys, and other prosecutors in Texas. The base salary for district attorney is $140,000. Budget for the district attorney for fiscal year 2024 is $407,964, and 3 employees plus the assistant DA. That's my 3 questions.
At this time, each candidate will have 1 minute for an introduction.
Oh, I'm sorry. My fault. Chrissy's been the district attorney since January 1st of 2017. She's been a licensed attorney in Texas for over 31 years with 25 years experience as a prosecutor. Chrissy's a graduate of Applied High School, Texas Tech University, with a Bachelor of Arts degree in English, and Texas Tech School of Law. Since moving to Mineral Wells in 2009, she's participated in leadership, Mineral Wells Class 16, Zonta Envision Mineral Wells, the Republican Party of Palo Pinto County, the Palo Pinto Republican Women's Club, and the Children's Alliance Center Board of Directors. Chrissy is also one of the 4 founding members of 100 Women of Palo Pinto County. Jet is a 5th-generation native of Palo Pinto County, graduating from Mineral Wells High School in 2004. He attended Texas A&M University, graduating with an honors degree in business administration. Jet then attended law school at St. Mary's University and began his career as a prosecutor in San Antonio. In 2014, he took a position in Erath County, where he now works as a felony prosecutor. He currently serves as a member of the multidisciplinary team responsible for combating child sexual and physical abuse, as well as the sexual assault response team. Jet also helped to found a domestic violence high-risk team, which helps victims of physical abuse to end the cycle of violence. Jet lives north of Mineral Wells with his wife Liz and their 2 sons. He's a member of Palo Pinto County Sheriff's Posse and serves on the board of directors of Texas Frontier Trails. Jet was chosen as Mineral Wells High School Distinguished Alum in 2014.
Thank you very much. Tina's a team player. She probably did that on purpose to make me feel better. So at this time, we'll have each candidate come up and give a 1-minute introduction.
Thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Jed Smith. It's a pleasure to be out here in Strawn tonight. We have a family ranch out on Dodson Prairie, and we've been there for the last 40 years, spent some time in this community. and it really makes me proud to be in front of you tonight, especially with what I'm endeavoring to do. I want to let you know that the reason that I'm running for district attorney is because I care about the people of this county. This is my home. This is where my family lives. This is where my wife lives, teaches school. I'm glad that she's here tonight. And this is where I raise my sons, Henry and Thomas. I care about you, I care about my family, and I care about the future of this county. I look forward to these questions. Thank you for having me.
Good evening. Thank you all for being here. It is so good to see people who come out to these forums so that you can learn about who we are as the candidates and make an informed choice when you go to the polls. And really, I want to thank the Strong Chamber of Commerce for the hard work that I know they put into making this forum go smoothly tonight. They're all volunteering their time, and we all, as candidates, really appreciate that as well. I am here because I'm asking for your vote to be reelected as your district attorney. I do have over 31 years of experience in criminal law here in Texas. My entire practice has been devoted to the practice of criminal law. I have tried cases from every level, from Class C all the way up to capital murders, and I've tried all of those types of cases more than once in my career. I believe that I have the experience and the training and the dedication necessary to do this job well, and I believe that our office has done this job well for you for the past 8 years, and I'm asking for your vote to continue to be your district attorney.
Okay, Christy, what has been your greatest professional accomplishment that is relevant to the position of county district attorney?
I believe my greatest professional accomplishment has always been representing and fighting for justice for the child victims of abuse that we have everywhere that I have worked. That has been one of my passions and one of my focuses of both my training and my trials. And I'm also extremely proud of the fact that I have assembled such a strong team to help me to accomplish that goal. I have, as you heard, an assistant district attorney, and his name is Kason Mobley, and he has over 19 years of experience as a lawyer, and over 17 of that as a prosecutor. So he brings to the table a whole lot of talent on his own. I've also got Tom Seaton as my investigator, and Tom has over 13 years of experience as a law enforcement officer, and he has investigated all levels and all types of crimes, and one of his passions as an investigator has always been crimes against children, and he is a very active assistant to me and to Kason in doing that work. We have also Adina Morris, who besides being our office manager is our victims assistance coordinator, and she does such an amazing job of working with the families, the victims and their families of crime, especially violent crime and child abuse crimes. And that gives an invaluable service to every one of you in the community. And if you ever get in the position of being a victim of crime, she will be the person that you would directly work with. And then we have Cherie Henderson, who has stepped up and not only learned her job as our legal assistant, but she is also learning to be an assistant, a victims assistance coordinator. And I think those people and assembling that team for you, the citizens of Palo County, is one of my greatest accomplishments. Thank you.
Jet, what has been your greatest professional accomplishment that is relevant to the position of county district attorney?
Thank you. When asked this question at a previous forum, a singular event came to mind, and I want to relate that to you tonight. One of the things that I do is make myself available to law enforcement day or night should emergencies occur. And in 2017, I was called out to a local apartment complex in the early hours of the morning on a day in December. I remember it was freezing cold. I learned that a young woman, a 17-year-old by the name of Jamie Hoagland, had been shot in the face by an unknown assailant. I worked there on scene with law enforcement, and it was pretty scary because for a while we had no idea who did this. and no idea whether we had a random shooter just running around. We worked from the ground up to investigate that case. We determined that a man named Sean Layton that night, high on methamphetamine, intended to shoot his drug dealer, but got the wrong partner. Jamie was paralyzed from the moment that she was shot in the face. Prosecuted Sean Layton got the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison for the crime of aggravated assault, which unfortunately was the law in Texas at that time. The most that we could give Sean Layton was 20 years. But that wasn't justice for Jamie. Because of that situation, I was able to successfully testify in front of the Texas House of Representatives Committee for Criminal Jurisprudence. I was able to be a part of that team and those people that helped to get the Todd Hopeland Act passed, which is now the law in the state of Texas. Today, as we are here now, if somebody commits a similar crime in the state of Texas, their punishment range is that of 5 to 99 years or life. I'm very proud of working that investigation from the ground up. I'm proud of the law enforcement team that I worked with that broke open a very difficult case. And I'm proud of the follow-up that I did to make a difference. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going to have to stay up here. I'm sorry. What would be your top priorities if elected to district attorney?
All right. There are 3 things that need to be changed immediately for positive improvement in the district attorney's office. The first thing is the DA's relationship with law enforcement. A district attorney cannot function unless they have a great working relationship with law enforcement. That goes back to the example that I just gave you. Our law enforcement ought to be able to call the district attorney at any time, day or night, and get help should they need it. They should make themselves available. The district attorney's office should have an open door policy, and the district attorney should take the time to build those relationships with each law enforcement agency so that they know when times get hard, when things get difficult, or when you have to have those difficult conversations, the DA is always on your team. Secondly, there's a docket backlog in Palo County. I ran the numbers from the district clerk's office the other day. There are currently 496 cases that are indicted pending trial on the docket. That is a number that is going to take no small feat to draw down. I intend to work hard with the team that I have and make a difference in that docket backlog. Lastly, the district attorney's office needs to be one of professionalism and respect. Everyone that deals with the district attorney's office needs to know that they're going to be treated with courtesy, efficiency, and respect, whether that be the new police officer on patrol, all the way up to members of the court or opposing counsel. If I'm elected district attorney, those things will change immediately. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. If elected, what would be your top priorities if you're elected to district attorney?
If you re-elect me as your district attorney, my top priority is to continue serving you, the citizens of Palo County, just as we have done for these past 8 years. It's important that you understand that my job as district attorney is as the top law enforcement officer of Palo County. And to do that, I have to set some standards and keep some standards that you as the citizens of the community have asked me to put in place. And that's what we have done since I took office. I believe part of the reason I was elected is because the last DA before me was doing the easy thing, not necessarily the right thing in handling his docket. I was told that I needed to make sure that we were tough on repeat offenders and habitual offenders, and that we needed to really crack down on drug dealers in Palo County because, as you all know, because so many of you have been the victims of theft cases, burglary cases, and just have seen the ravages of drug addiction on our community, that the dealers should not be tolerated. We have worked very hard with City County Narcotics Unit and even out here in this end of the county to try to target those drug dealers and get them off your streets. You as jurors, when you have shown up to serve on our juries, have shown us that those are the priorities you want, because you continue to give very strong sentences, both to habitual offenders and to drug dealers. I've never given a drug dealer probation offer just to move a case, and I'm not going to, because you've told me that's not what you want to see happen. I've also not done that with habitual offenders, and I will continue to do that. Now, does that make a docket move just a little bit slower? Maybe. But I will tell you, I'm here to serve you, not to serve my own desires. Thank you.
We live in a fast-paced world with quick changes. What are the trends you expect in the upcoming years, and how will you prepare your office for them?
Absolutely. I think it was Nathan who said that the law changes every couple of years, every time the legislature meets. Throughout my career, I prioritize not only education of myself and my staff and law enforcement, but I've also prioritized collaboration with both law enforcement professionals and the others in my profession as prosecutors. I've done that by serving on various committees, both locally and statewide. I am right now the president-elect of the Texas District and County Attorneys Association, which is an association of over 6,000 members of prosecutors and their staffs throughout the state of Texas. I've also served on the Texas Children's Justice Act Committee, which is a statewide committee that was designed to administer grant funds to help improve the investigation and prosecution of child abuse cases. I've served on the Sheriff's Association of Texas cold case team as well. And I tell you these things because what that does is it prepares me and educates me to be on the forefront of what are the changes in laws. Because I haven't just gone once to the legislative sessions. I've gone year after year that I have served as a prosecutor. And as part of the TDCA Association, we work on legislative issues all the time. We also work on being on the forefront of forensic sciences and digital evidence, and also child and sexual abuse and human trafficking. Those are all things that I've been able to focus on through my service on these statewide committees, and what that does is help me to bring the newest and the best information back to prosecute those crimes for you, the citizens of Palo County. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet, we live in a fast-paced, ever-changing world. What are the trends you expect in the upcoming years, and how, if elected, how will you prepare your office for them?
It's been mentioned before this evening, and we all know it, that Palo County is growing. And with that growth, and through my experience, I expect to see a couple of trends happen. Number one, we're going to have to deal with more issues relating to narcotics. And why is that important? Because that also is going to fuel subsequent property crimes. Now, when we talk about narcotics, what I currently do is work with a joint narcotics task force that's also attached with somebody at the DEA. Over the last 3 years, we placed over 40 drug dealers in hardcore federal prison and gotten them out of our community. I hope to be able to do the same here in Palo County. Fentanyl is also an issue that we're going to have to deal with. I know coming across my desk, I have a case right now where there's methamphetamine associated with fentanyl. It is a poison, it is dangerous, and it can kill our kids, basically. We're going to have to deal with that moving forward. I have the experience to deal with it. Secondly, property crimes. As our population grows, we're going to deal with property crimes. How that relates to this area is that property crimes happen in rural areas as well. Now, I talked to an investigator today that let me know that he is working a case where deer camps were getting stuff stolen from them, and that's going to spill over into Palo County. Why is that important? It relates back to you have to work with your law enforcement and meet with them every day in order to figure out what's going on and stop these trends before they get out of control. Thank you.
at this time, each candidate will have their closing remarks for 1 minute.
Thank you so much for having me here today, ladies and gentlemen. Going through this process of the campaign is something that I've never had to deal with before. It's been eye-opening. The best part about it is getting to meet the citizens of this community and listening to what their issues are and the things that they care about. It's been the honor of my life to be in this position, to be able to run for district attorney for my home county that I care about so much. I know that I have the experience, and I also conduct business in a manner that will benefit each and every one of you if I'm elected to this position. And I'm going to humbly ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
Go ahead and have your closing remarks right now.
Again, I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to point out just a couple of things when we go back to talking about if they're backlogged or not. We dealt with, since I took office, just the cases that have come into my office, 3,316 cases. So to only have 496 pending at this point in time, I think shows how hard we work in my office. Also, you need to understand that some of those numbers come from people that we have outstanding warrants on, people that we have revocation warrants on. And so when we're talking about the cases that are actually going into court every day, it's less than that number. We also have a general jurisdiction judge, and that judge has to hear every type of case, civil, family, and criminal. So we get 1 day a week to deal with felony cases in this county and 1 trial a month, and that's it. So we work very hard to make sure that we are moving these cases as efficiently as possible while upholding your standards that you have shown us through your jury verdicts to be tough on crime in Palo County. I'm asking for your vote, and I want to thank you again for being here.
Be careful you're stepping down off of the. That brings us to our last candidate for this evening, for the state representative for House District 60. Mike Alcott declined our invitation to appear tonight, so we have Dr. Rogers that graciously came to give us his points of view. So at this time, we'll have Tina read his introduction and bio.
Y'all say the longest one for last. Texas House District 60 encompasses Parker, Palo Pinto, and Stevens counties. The current House District 60 was formed after the state legislature redrew the legislative districts based on 2020 census. Currently, the Texas House District is comprised of 200,000 people. Somebody threw in some more trivia here for y'all. The Texas Senate District is comprised of 940,000 people. The deputies of the state legislature include meets in regular session for about 5 months every other year. Regular sessions begin at noon on the second Tuesday of January of odd-numbered years and can last no more than 140 days, ending during the last week of May or the first week of June. After the end of the regular season and before the start of the next regular session, the governor may call a special session to cover specific topics. Special sessions can last no longer than 30 days and are limited to the topics designated by the governor. Consideration of proposed laws and resolutions. Consideration of proposed constitutional amendments for submission of the voters, to the voters. The appropriation of all funds for the operation of state government. State legislators represent the district's constituents and address their state-related issues and concerns and are considered the closest level of state government in relation to the citizens. Legislators generally serve on one or several of 34 standing committees that consider all areas of possible legislation. By law, the only piece of legislation that is required of the legislature is that they must pass a balanced budget. Members of the Texas House are paid $7,200 annually.
Thank you, Tina. This time we'll have Glenn, give a 1 minute introduction.
Glenn, would you like me to read a bio on you?
It's up to you.
I mean, you,
Go ahead.
okay. Representative Glenn Rogers is a sixth-generation Texas rancher. He was raised in Graham, Texas, and attended Texas A&M University, where he earned his Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree in 1980. Upon graduation, he began operating the family ranch and started his local veterinary practice. In 1993, he left private practice to receive a postgraduate degree from Kansas State University. From 1993 to 2000, he was a tenured associate professor at North Carolina State University. After returning to Texas in the early 2000s, he worked as a technical consultant in the animal health industry. Dr. Rogers owns and operates Holt River Ranch near Brayford, where he develops and markets red Angus heifers. He lives on his ranch with his wife Mandy, who is also a veterinarian, and they have 4 children and 5 grandchildren.
So I'm a citizen legislator. I'm not a career politician or a career activist. After 40 years as a veterinarian, and I had several successful careers as a private practitioner, as a university educator and a consultant, I decided to give back to this area and the state. We've had the 2 most conservative sessions in the history of Texas in my 2 terms. We passed the largest property tax increase in Texas history. We recorded or had the funding for the border. We set a record for funding, $6.6 billion. We had the strongest immigration law ever passed by a state. We passed laws to stop the woke agenda. And I will always support local schools and students. I always have and I always will. And I was elected by you. I wasn't elected by any billionaires or state officials. I was elected by you, and thank you for your vote.
Glenn, what are the qualities of an effective public servant, and how does your background and experience reflect these qualities?
Well, I think the first qualification is to be a servant leader. You need to be there for the right reasons. You want elected officials that don't really need the job. They want the job. And I think, servant leader you can get in a lot of components of that. I think you also need to be able to work well with others. You've got to be able to get things done, and you can't go to Austin and just throw bombs or, have an agenda that no one will support. You've got to go down there with your principles and not waver on those, but you need other people to come around and help you pass legislation. And sometimes that might be somebody that's might even be a liberal Democrat in Houston that you need their vote for something that's going to affect agriculture in a rural area, and they know nothing about what you're talking about. And I've explained beef and dairy operations to people who've never been on a farm, for instance. But you got to be able to have that capacity to work with others and get things done. We live in a pretty divisive political environment, but ultimately you have to work with others as well. I think, how much time do I have? Is it?
You're 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. And thirdly, I think you have to have the support of your family, and I certainly have that. My wife's here tonight, Mandy, and I couldn't do this without her, and I think that's really a mark of an effective leader is to have that kind of support, because it's really not me, it's we, and it's not just Mandy and my immediate family, but it's extended family. We had a forum yesterday in Brock, and we had 75 people turn out to support me on Super Bowl Sunday, and it was really humbling to me to see that I had that kind of support. That's what it takes. It takes teamwork.
So I'll step up here. The 88th legislature began with a windfall surplus of $33 billion, and yet increased funding for public schools was left on the cutting room floor, even through 4 special sessions. Based on your conversations with superintendents in Palo Pinto County, if elected, what will be your focus going forward regarding school finance?
Well, first of all, I want to say it was a good session for retired educators. We got the first COLA in almost 20 years, and we also got a one-time supplemental payment. Disappointed in what happened for active teachers, but let me tell you what did happen, regardless of what you may get in some mailers. So we had a bill, HB1, that had teacher pay raises, and it also had funding for school security, and it had a voucher. So the voucher kind of held that hostage. And we voted to strip that voucher off that bill. And 88% of the people over the last two sessions, hundreds and hundreds of emails, texts, and phone messages told me that that's what this district wanted. They did not want vouchers, and so we voted that. But we never actually got the opportunity to vote on a bill just for teacher pay raises, because it would have passed. In fact, the HB1 that was left after the voucher was stripped off would have easily passed the House, but we didn't have the opportunity to vote on it. Next session, we will come back and approve teacher pay raises as an individual vote. Same with school security. There's no reason why it should be held hostage by vouchers. Vouchers need to be standalone, and if they pass, they pass. But I think the idea of making it tied in with these others is not a good process.
Thank you. In a recent local newspaper article, both candidates stated that water was the most pressing issue for Palo County. Please describe your plans for mitigating this crisis.
Well, first of all, I lobbied really hard to get on the Natural Resources Committee. It's a hard committee to get on. So I'm now on the House Natural Resources Committee, which oversees all the water resources in Texas, TCEQ, Texas Water Development Board. And in that position, I have the opportunity to hopefully facilitate more water coming to Palo County through grants and that kind of thing. I mean, it's not that I can go in and say, Palo County needs this grant. It's not that simple. But I'm in a position where I can coordinate with Palo County to help facilitate that. So we have the you voted in November on 14 constitutional amendments. One of them, Proposition 6, approved the Texas Water Fund. We now have well over $1 billion that's available for additional grant money for leaking pipes, for new water, we have 136 billion gallons of water lost annually in Texas just from leaky pipes, for instance. So we need to fix that. We need to conserve. We need to look at new technology. Certainly desal is one that we're going to have to use more and more in the future. We need to move water from east to west. There's plenty of water in eastern Texas and states to the east of us, and they want to sell us water actually. So I'm also been involved in trying to develop a long-term plan. And when we get, there's so much involved in water. It's so complicated. I thought church politics was bad until I got into water politics, and believe me. But the first thing I do when I get elected is we're going to have town halls all across the district where we're going to educate, correct misinformation, and then we're going to try to develop some plans that you help us develop on what we can do for short and long-term solutions.
What are the biggest issues facing House District 60, and how will you represent our local needs on these issues?
Well, we've already talked about water, so I'm going to leave that one out. But 3 other issues. I'm going to start with the border, and then continuing to lower property taxes, and then our public schools. So we're all on the border. If you live in the United States, you're on the border. You're being affected by what's going on at the border. We're seeing fentanyl deaths at an unprecedented rate. We've had as many fentanyl deaths as we had lost in Vietnam and Korean War combined. And so we're all affected. We're also affected when our DPS officers have to leave their duty here and go there and serve on the border, and it leaves us with a void. So we're involved in so many ways with the border. We allocated $6.6 billion for improved border security, to put more boots on the ground for DPS and for the Texas Military Department. We increased penalties for we increased penalties for fentanyl. We increased penalties for human smuggling, and we passed the strongest border bill ever passed, where we can actually make it a felony to enter our country illegally. In regards to property taxes, we had the largest property tax cut in Texas history, and we'll continue to work on that. That $18 billion cut was unprecedented. We want to continue to lower property taxes even more. And then we've already kind of talked a little bit about schools. I only have 15 seconds now, but I could talk all day on our public schools, how important they are to our small communities. They're the backbone of our small communities. And when we're taking up for public schools, we're taking up for rural Texas. And that's why I'm in the Texas House.
Thank you. The final question for the evening, how can and will you directly assist projects impacting Palo Mountain State Park and the Strong and Vegas and Gordon area?
Well, we're excited about Palo Mountain State Park, first park in Texas in 25 years. I've made several trips there to see the park. We're gonna do everything we can from a legislative standpoint moving forward in the future. One thing that concerns me is there's a possibility of a wind farm going in La Casa, just that would be the wind turbines would be visible from the park. One bill we filed this last session was a light mitigation bill that would require wind turbines to have the lights off during the night unless aircraft got within a certain distance. So there's radar technology to do that. 7 states have already adapted that, and we got it passed through the House. Even the wind lobby agreed with us on the language, but that's something that would affect the park. We certainly don't want our campers to have to look at lights at night. To me, that's the worst part about wind farms. We can talk about other aspects of wind farms too, but especially that. So we'll continue to do that. I know there's going to be needs for roads getting out there, the road up to the park. I work with TxDOT. We're on speed dial with them. We talk to them weekly. And my district director, Gary Norman, is really good at these individual projects within the district. We'll continue to do whatever we can to help with that process. It's just such a wonderful opportunity. We're going to have 100,000 visitors a year, conservatively, going to this park, and it's going to really be a boon for Palo County and Strong.
All right, this time you have a closing remarks with 1 minute.
Well, I want to thank Alan and the Strong Chamber for putting this on. It's no easy. Already. Wow, that went by fast. So anyway, I just wanted to thank everyone for being here. This is such a wonderful event where you come and you hear people who devoted part of their lives to serve, and I really appreciate all the candidates for what they've said. I want to just tell you one thing about me. I'm here to represent you. I'm not here to represent any billionaires. I'm not here to represent any other elected officials statewide. I'm here to represent you, and I'm not going to change my position anytime just because somebody from the outside, just because out-of-state voucher lobby is pumping millions of dollars into this state against me with mailers that you're seeing. Why would an out-of-state voucher lobby care about Palo County in the state of Texas in regards to vouchers? Because there's a lot of money to be made, and it's not good for our public schools. And I stood in the gap to protect our public schools. I was one of the 21 Republicans that did that, and I'm taking a lot of political heat for it. But I want to tell you something. It's like Sam Houston said, do right and risk the consequences, and that's what I'm doing. And I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.
we'd like to thank all the candidates for coming out this evening. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out this evening. This concludes this evening's forum. It's been a pleasure serving as your moderator. I'd like to remind everybody that Tuesday, March 26th, the circus will be coming to town. We'd like to see all you come out to the circus. It's a lot more fun than this politics stuff. Bring your grandchildren. Please feel free to hang around, mingle and talk with the candidates. And on your way out the door, don't forget to pick up a Strong Area Chamber of Commerce membership form. Thank you.